Sushruta for NEET is now available on the Google Play Store. Try it out for free.
We have looked into that already. Ecological succession. Always ask a question, what is ecological succession? One more question. What you want to say about that? Simple definition or simple explanation with regard to ecological succession is a gradual, predictable change in the species composition in a given area. Not only that, a gradual, predictable species change, a gradual, fairly predictable change in the habitat as well as the species in a given area is called ecological succession. Without a change in the habitat, you cannot expect much change in the species. So, during ecological succession, some species colonize an area and their population becomes more numerous. At the same time, some other populations, species, decline in number and finally disappear. So whenever you come across some change in the habitat, in a given habitat, you come across a particular type of species. When that particular habitat gets changed, you come across new species to invade there. And these new species increase in number, their population increases. At the same time, the older population species, older population or old species start getting decline in number and eventually disappear. This is what you see during ecological succession. Now let me just tell you, you have a small pond with water. Let us see that this water gets dried up. When water was there were some species of plants, some species of animals. When the water dries up, habitat gets changed. When the habitat gets changed, new species start appearing there, which are very happy with the changed habitat. And their population size becomes bigger and bigger. Whereas the earlier population, which was there, because of the changed habitat, they started declining in number and eventually they disappear. I hope it is understood clearly. Jyoti? Savitri? Hello? Are you hearing me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So this is what is happening. The entire sequence of communities that successfully change in a given area are called seer. I said, I have just spotted in the earlier class, earlier species A was there. Later, the species comes into picture because of the changed habitat. After some time, species C comes. When a species A was there, it was only A species. When B species comes there, sometimes you come across both A and B to be there. Gradually, B species number increases, A species number decreases. When C comes, C species number increases gradually, B species decreases. Sometimes B and C species remain together for some time, like that. All these A, B, C, D, like that, till a climax community. Climax means the final community, last climax of the cinema, like that. Till the climax community reaches, you would come across all these are called seer or seral communities, seral stages. In the successive seral stages, there is a change in the diversity of species of organism. What was there in the earlier condition? In one particular habitat, you would come across one particular type of plant and animal species. When it habitat changes, another type of plant and animal species comes. So, in the successive seral stages, there is a change in the diversity of species of organism, increase in the number of species and organism, as well as increase in the total biomass. The present-day communities in the world, whatever you come across, as I told you, you come across in some places a desert, in some places grassland, in some places forest, in some places river, in some places ocean. All these present-day communities, whatever you come across in the world, have come to be because of succession that's occurred over millions of years since life started on Earth. So, if you look into that, in the world, there are so many continents. Don't think that all these continents got erupted at the same time. No, at a different times, these continents got erupted, and all these continents got formed because of the volcanic eruption from the entrails of the earth. And these volcanic eruptions, when they started cooling, that gradually turned out into be a different types of mountains and all land masses. Actually, succession evolution would have been a parallel process at that time. So this is what I have told you. I showed you. So this is how, right at the beginning, there is nothing on a land, on a barren land. You could see only the weeds which grow only for an year. Only for an year they grow. And after that, gradually, these annual weeds got replaced by perennial weeds, which grow for several years, not dying every year. Annual got replaced by biennial, biennial got replaced by perennial, and gradually some of these herbs were there. Gradually, in that place, the subs started appearing. When the subs started appearing, don't think that herbs got removed all of a sudden at a time. No, not like that. And there was a coexistence of these herbs and subs. Gradually, herbs number came down, subs increased in number, then the subs got replaced, gradually substituted by the larger trees, and finally you to come across larger trees and some shrubs and very few herbs, and now it is actually more accommodating these trees. Succession is hence a process that starts where no living organisms are there. So I said that at the beginning it was a barren land. These could be areas where no living organisms ever existed right from the beginning, or sometimes this is say bare rock. So you have yes bare rock. No other organisms are there, neither the plants nor the animals. Or succession may appear in area where some organisms were there. Because of some natural calamities, these organisms got to totally removed, and succession may start in that place again. So therefore, we always have two types of succession. Succession is basically of two types. So if at all you are asked what is succession? Yes, succession is nothing but. Who will tell what is succession? Come on. Again, explain that what is succession. Aisha? Blessy? Blessy, have you come? Kanisa?
Yes, sir.
What is succession?
There will be a place where there are no living organisms, and slowly they exist.
So, see, the thing is that this is what, okay. Yeah. I think there are 22 students. All are here. Aisha, please give me attendance.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Blessy,
Yes, sir.
why you did not talk at all?
I
Can I ask
joined.
you? Huh? You had been to washroom?
No, sir.
Janisa,
Yes, sir.
Fatima, Rafa hasn't come. Janani,
Yes, sir.
Kavita,
So she's not well.
Kavita,
Yeah.
Navya,
Yes, sir.
okay. Namrata,
Yes, sir.
Jyoti,
Yes, sir.
Rakesh,
Yes, sir.
Pratiraj,
Yes, sir.
Lohit,
Yes, sir.
Vismita,
Yes, sir.
Andira,
Yes, sir.
Savitri,
Yes, sir.
Tanusri,
Yes, sir.
Jayasri,
Yes, sir.
Okay. Charan,
Yes, sir.
Chinmay,
Yes, sir.
Harshavardhan.
Yes, sir.
Harshavardhan, where were you in the morning? You have attended a class in the morning? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Attended?
Yes, sir.
Siddesh?
Yes, sir.
Siddesh?
Yes, sir.
Sarvottam? Sarvottam? He was not there in the morning also. Vishwas?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Have I left any name? Have I left any name not called? Yes. I think in the morning class, Sandeep sir might have told about the performance of our last batch students. Is it? Kanisa?
Yes, sir.
Have you heard what he said?
Yes, sir.
What he said?
4 students got medical seat.
4 students got medical seat. Also, another 2 students are waiting. They may get also. Please know our performance is excellent. We are very much satisfied with the performance. It was 100% online. And it was a long-term batch students, first batch students online. And even though there were 12 students, 8 students are serious. 12 students, some of them, they joined very late. They did not come for the entire first year topic, and they did not attend. They were not at all coping up. They had a problem. But 8 students were very regular. We are not considering that 4 students because of their own problem. They could not make it up. They could not attend the class also. Out of the 8 students, if at all 5 students getting, or even to the extent of another 6 students, is really great. And I am thinking of inviting these 4 students, 4 to 5 students, on coming Sunday, and just make you to hear what they are telling. Would you like to have it? Would you like to have that meeting?
Yes, sir.
How many of you wish to have that meeting? So that you'll come to know from them what they have done and how they could manage. Right? I see here. Right? Some of you are not raised the hand. I don't know. Aisha is not. Aisha is not interested to listen to them.
I raised my hand, sir.
You raised your hand, but I can't see your hand. Aisha's hand is not there. You raised it there only. Huh?
I did,
Like
sir.
this?
Yeah.
You raised your hand there with your actual hand.
No, sir. Here, I clicked the option.
Now it came. Now it came. Okay. Blessy. Okay. Right. We would like to have it on coming Sunday at about 8 o'clock. I see only following hands raised. That is Charan, Pratiraj, Rakesh, Chinmayi, Lohit, Navya, Vismita, Namrata, Diti, Jayasri, Siddesh, Kanisa, Harshvardhan, Savitri, Aisha, Blessy, Vishwas, Janani. Yeah, now Tanusri's hand came up. Good. We are doing it for an hour. You please make your parents also to be there. And you must log in exactly at the stipulated time, because if at all it goes beyond 100, then you may not be in a position to enter in. So we are doing it for both first and second year students together. And I hope you know that our strength is 70 plus altogether, and we are likely to double that strength in the next year. And you just to see that what they have done, how they could manage, and what that you wanted to ask. You can ask, pose any questions to them, and you can know what problem you are facing and how they used to solve it. Okay, right. That's what I wanted to tell you. And also, I request you to tell to your juniors to join your academy and see that they are getting what they are deserving. Okay, right. So coming back to now topic now. Yes, I think you are seeing. Right. Now, what I wanted to tell you, Kanisa, whenever you give the definition, your definition should have very much weightage. And it should be as much as possible the same sentence from NCERT book. As much as possible. What did I say? What is succession? Who will give better definition? Who will give better definition for the succession? I said something. Clearly I said in one sentence. Can anyone recall? Is it possible? Come on. It is a gradual, what? Gradual, predictable change in the habitat and species composition in a given area. Kanisa, are you making out? Listening me?
Yes,
It is
sir.
a gradual, predictable change in the habitat and species composition in a given area. So now, whenever we say that it is a gradual, orderly, predictable change, it is a change in the habitat, change in the nature of the habitat, and also change in the species composition. So whenever we say about a species, change in species, now the question is that whether that particular habitat was so barren without any species right from the beginning, or is it that that particular area was with some species and these species got removed because of some one or the reason and another new species started appearing. Now, if you look into a big rock surface, now let us say that you have a very big rock, huge rock near your village. And this rock, you used to always go there, climb there, sit there, enjoy there, like that. And there never used to be any plant at all. You used to sit there, aram se, and absolutely no trace of any particular species of any herbs like that. So this is a bare area. Or to another extent, what I am telling, you got some area which you got because of unexpected heavy rain, never heard for centuries together. Such a rain came, and that rain, it removed all the existing small herbs, shrubs in a particular area, and the water stayed there for some time, and say about a week or so. And later, at that time, all the existing species got killed, they die. And now, after some time, this water recedes back, and now you do come across water already existed populations there that got removed, but after some time, another new population starts appearing there. So succession is of two types. Therefore, so whenever you say succession, succession hence is a process that starts where no organisms existed, no living organisms are there, no living organisms were there. These could be areas where no living organism ever existed, say bare rock, or in areas that somehow lost all the living beings, organisms that existed there before. Are you understanding my point? Namrata? Is it
Yes,
clear?
sir.
Lohit? So, the former is called primary succession, while the latter is called secondary succession. Lohit? Lohit, can you tell me what is primary succession? Lohit?
Yes, sir.
What is primary succession? What is primary succession? Prithvi?
Yes, sir.
What is primary succession? Primary succession is the succession which starts on bare rock area. Secondary succession is the succession which starts in an area where some organisms were there, but they got lost. Understood? So, here, examples of areas where primary succession occurs are newly cooled lava, bare rock, newly created pond or reservoir. These are all new areas where no organisms ever existed. After a volcanic eruption, you come across the lava to get cooled. It results in the land masses. So, if the succession starts in such area, what we call them? Bare area, bare rock area, or cooled lava, or newly created pond. You have. Let us see that you have just dug an area and you have made a, let us say that a pit or tank of this size. You have taken all the mud from here. You have taken the mud. And this is just in the dry season, you have just made one tank. Let us say that one tank. And you have left it as such. In the next rainy season, you see that water gets filled this. And don't you think that in due course of time, you come across some organisms to appear there, some plants also to start growing? Am I right? Am I right? Hello, respond.
Yes, sir.
And also you come across some organisms. So plants appear, animals appear. So this is what in the bare area, the succession starting. Newly created pond or reservoir. Many times you know that wherever you have this dam, when the dams are constructed, it makes that at one side of the dam, if at all you come across the dam, at one side of the dam, you have reservoir. At the other end, it is down below. And canals are there, and water is made to pass through the canals. So this reservoir, which got newly formed, it develops its own fauna and flora gradually. So establishment of a new biotic community is generally slow here. Gradually, the new biotic community includes both plants and animals. Before a biotic community of diverse organisms can become established, there must be soil. Now, we are just thinking about a bare rock area. In this bare rock area, if at all anything has to start, you can't expect in the bare rock surface immediately the plants to grow. The bare rock area should have little bit of soil to accommodate these small weeds. So, before a biotic community of diverse organisms to get formed, there must be a soil. Depending mostly on the climate, it takes natural processes several hundred to several thousands of years or millions of years to produce fertile soil on bare rock. You can't expect the fertile soil to get found within just 10 years, 20 years, like that. Several hundred to several thousands of years required to form soil on bare rock. Bare rock. So that is why this primary succession is always a slow process, right? Look here, this is what you have the bare rock, exposed to the rock, no organisms were there. What you will see that on such a bare rock, first organisms to appear, what you call pioneers, pioneers are the first organisms to appear. The pioneer species are lichens and mosses. And it is these lichens and mosses, especially mosses, which secrete acid. It makes this rock to, under the influence of this acid, the rock to weather out, and slowly you get the formation of soil particles. Of course, it requires several hundreds of years, right? And this soil so formed, it starts now accommodating the weeds, small weeds, annuals, and they may be replaced by biennials, perennials. So gradually come across grasses, then herbs, then shrubs, then tree seedlings in this area. And gradually it gets turned to be a little bit of a more number of trees, and finally it ends with the climax community, that's the final community, that's the forest. So this is what you expect during the primary succession to occur. Have you understood this? Is it clear, Tanusri?
Yes, sir.
Jayasri is there?
Yes, sir.
Jayasri, where were you in the morning? Your phone was switched off. Have you seen missed call?
No, sir.
You have not seen missed call from me?
No, sir.
Good.
It's not there.
It was not there. Okay, fine. I will give you a call again now. So now let us look into the stages of secondary succession. Secondary succession starts where already some organisms were there. Let us see that. I will show you. Secondary succession begins in area where natural biotic communities have been destroyed. There were some biotic communities, they got destroyed, such as abandoned farmland, burned or cut forests, lands that have been flooded. These are the areas where some populations were there. Somehow, due to natural calamities, they got removed. And in that places, again, the succession starting, it is called secondary succession. Since some soil or sediment was present already, succession is faster here than primary succession. Right? Succession is faster. Now, who will explain me what is the primary succession, what is secondary succession? Quick. I want one of you to open your mouth and start telling. Till then, I will keep quiet.
Hello, sir.
Now, who is this?
Prithviraj.
Okay, tell me.
Primary succession starts on bare rock where there are no organisms present.
Yeah.
And secondary succession starts on where there are some organisms.
But they got removed due to one or the other reason.
Yes.
Which is faster and which is slower?
Primary is slower.
Primary succession is always slower than the second succession. Why secondary succession is faster? Anyone? Why secondary succession is faster and primary succession is slower?
Sir, because initially there was some sediments present.
Yeah, who is this?
Vismita.
Yeah, good. So in the primary succession, it is lower because there is no soil at all. Even the soil formation takes a lot of time. Secondary succession, there are no organisms, but the soil is already there. So this is the difference between primary and secondary. Description of ecological succession usually focuses on changes in vegetation. So whenever we speak about succession, you know, succession is always focused on changes in vegetation. However, these vegetation changes in turn affect food and shelter for various types of animals. You know, presence of any animals in any particular place depends upon what type of plants are there. Right? Right? Okay. Now, why that you don't come across elephant in desert? Elephant in a desert? Hello? Why don't you come across elephant in desert? You don't
It's
know?
an herbivore.
It is herbivore. It has to eat a lot of herbs, food, plant materials. That much it will not get. So it can't afford, it can't live in the desert. So you know what type of animals are there in the grassland, what type of animals are there in the forest land, what type of animals are there in the river. So this is any animal life is always dependent on the plant life. This is the difference between the primary and secondary succession. You can take down these quickly. Right? Primary succession initiates in area where organisms never existed, bare areas. Secondary succession initiates in areas where communities are recently destroyed. The absence of the soil, humans, and reproductive structures of organisms. Second succession, the presence of the soil, humans, and reproductive structures from organisms of previous communities. Present. Takes a long time, several hundred to thousands of years to reach a climax stage. Takes comparatively less time, 50 to 200 years to reach a climax or stable stage. Right? Shall we move, Namrata?
Yes, sir.
Tanusri?
Yes, sir.
Savitri? Kavita?
Yes, sir.
Kavita is not there, huh? Okay. So now, thus, as the succession proceeds, the numbers and types of animals and decomposers also change. As the succession proceeds, now, starting with the bare rock, with the small, little bit of soil there, with more soil, with more water, you see that whenever that there was a change in the habitat, changes in the flora and fauna also takes place. Thus, as the succession proceeds, the numbers and the types of animals and decomposers also change. At any time during primary or secondary succession, at any time during primary or secondary succession, natural or human-induced disturbances, we are known for that. We are known for that. Either natural or human-induced disturbances like fire, deforestation. Fire can be natural also. Fire can be due to human beings also. Deforestation is definitely action of the human being, etc. can convert a particular serial stage of succession to an earlier stage. What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that? These either natural or human-induced disturbances can convert a particular serial stage of succession into an earlier stage. To an earlier stage. Can you tell me what is that? What is that? Now, let us think that. Have you understood this? Can anyone tell me without myself giving explanation? Come on, let me try. Let me see.
Due to the environmental changes, it can lead to the first environmental conditions like before the
Means? No, I said that it is a bare area, bare surface, and this is a weedy stage, latest in herb stage. This is a shrub stage. This is a tree stage. So, due to the disturbances, induced disturbances by man or by natural calamity, do you think that this particular stage goes back to bare surface stage or goes back to this stage, sub stage? What is the meaning of this? Can convert a particular serial stage. These are particular serial stages, serial stage 1, serial stage 2, serial stage 3, serial stage 4. Due to human-induced disturbances or natural calamities, do you think that this particular serial stage, 3, fourth serial stage, straight away goes back to 1, or it may go back to 3, or you may go back to 2? What do you say? Hello, are you understand my point? Anyone? Is it a 4 to 1, 4 to 3?
4 to 1.
Rakesh?
4 to 1.
Wrong. It is not. Now let us generate some fire got lit there. Fire. Do you think that this fire removes all the trees of the forest, 100% makes it a bare land with no soil at all? This is a bare surface to start with without soil, here. Now what happens? Whenever human beings go for cutting the trees, do you think that it gets converted completely to the stage 1, serial stage 1? No. What will happen? It will take it back to the previous stage, earlier stage. This is to an earlier stage. Understood, Rakesh?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So also such disturbances create new conditions that encourage some species and discourage or eliminate other species. So now, if you look into the forest, I lived in a place where I have seen this forest fire for 25 years. 25 years. Almost during the summer season, every summer season, we could see this forest fire with a distance of about 10 to 15 kilometers. If you just move on some road, Sringeri to Chikamagalur road, you know there is a college, JSBM college. If at all you just move in the road, you can see from about 15 kilometers distance, you can see lot of hillocks, forests, okay, with the forest. And when you the summer season, it gets a fire. The fire it spreads to the extent of several hectares. When the fire spreads to several hectares of land, it was so huge a fire. You can see such a fire even for 10 to 15 kilometers away. You can see the fire. Invariably, every year I have seen that. So whenever you get such a fire, what happens? These fires appear for two reasons. One is whenever these wild animals move, because of their fast movement, whenever a small pebble, if it all some granite piece, it falls down on another granite piece, it sparks fire and immediately it gets spread. Or sometimes people half burnt this BD cigarette like that. When they throw, that also catches fire. Within no time, fire spreads. Within no time is unimaginable. You cannot imagine. If at all you are there somewhere, let us say that you are standing here and you see that a fire is there, you can't escape that. You will get burnt. That much quickly the fire spreads because of the wind and all. So, in this way, if at all in one particular place, if at all it gets a fire, it spreads to several hectares. 1 hectare is 2.5 acres. So that much quickly it spreads, and we see that every year several hectares of a forest getting burnt in such places. And actually, the forest department appoints some forest fire watcher during summer season to see that the forest, if at all any fire gets, immediate to make arrangement to get it off, the extinguished. Okay, so this is what you have. Now, whenever that happens, you see, also such a disturbance create new condition. So when these trees are burnt, it is not that it gets burnt and some places you will have the burning more, burning less like that. So it creates a new condition that encourages some species and discourage or eliminate other species. Earlier, let us say there were very good growth of these trees and all. Now, trees cannot grow there, but you can make that herbs can grow there, shrubs can grow there. Right? Okay? Understood? Is it clear? Now let us study succession of plants. Based on the nature of the habitat, whether it is water or that water is always referred as a very wet area, or whether it is a very dry area, succession of plants is called hydrarch or xerarch respectively. If the succession starts in water, wet area, it is called hydrarch. If the succession starts in a dry area, very dry area, it is called xerarch. It is called xerarch. Right? Clear? Vishwas? Vishwas.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Tell me, what was the last sentence I uttered now? What was my last sentence? Vishwas. Vishwas. Huh?
Succession.
Hello? What was my last sentence?
Succession.
Huh? Harshavardhan?
Yes, sir.
Tell me. Charan?
Yes, sir.
Tell me.
Sir, about xerarch succession, sir.
You tell me the whole sentence. Chinmay?
Xerarch succession takes place in dry areas and the series progress from xeric to mesic conditions.
No. Navya?
Yes, sir.
Tell me the last sentence, whatever you said. Who will tell? Lohit?
Sir,
Hello.
succession in wet areas is called as hydraulic succession. In dry areas, it's called as xeric succession.
See, only this much. What you are doing, Charan? What you are doing, Chirmai? What you are doing, Vishwas? So this is what you want. Please listen to me. Please remember, we most of the time we do this type of attitude. We show this type of attitude, not only here, even inside the classroom also. We simply sit. Is it not that it is your valuable time? And just you thought that I have said this sentence and you just read that sentence. It is not correct, Charan. It is your time, Appa. You should give value to your own time. I'll be asking here and there, now and then I'll be asking this question. See, I have in my mind to support you throughout your board exam, to support you till you write a seat and NEET. But if at all, when we engage the class, if at all you don't listen, is it not that it will be waste of your time? Nadira, whether this chapter ecosystem got over in your college? Tanusri? Savitri?
Yes, sir.
Sir,
it is over.
It was over.
Yes, sir.
When it was over, if at all you listen this class again, it will be as good as a revision. That's what we are telling. Don't think that you are attending the class. You think that you are revising the concept. When you revise the concept, that much in-depth knowledge you will get. These all are taught in the college. Is it not that you neither heard the lecture there, nor you are hearing the lecture here? Are you understanding my point, Vishwas? Vishwas?
Yes, sir.
Are you understanding my point?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. If you don't listen properly, if you don't take to the point properly, is it not that then coming and attending this class will be a waste of your time? Many times, Kanisa,
Yes, sir.
yeah, many times, whenever I used to speak to your mother used to tell, there is no time to read at all. What is this class? Is it not it is a reading? Kanisa? Don't you think that this is a revision?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Provided you must come in that way. You know you have already heard this lecture. Is it not that in your college it got over? Ecosystem?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. When it was over in your college, when I do that, you must make that knowledge, whatever you got from the college, still more stronger. That's why I always say, our lecturing is, don't consider it as a lecturing, it is considered as it is a revision. So it makes yourself to be very strong. For that, you should come and sit in the classroom with that mindset. So whenever just I ask you, what is my last sentence? If it is not in a position to repeat, that means you are not listening, whatever you call, whatever you say, manasittu pata keludu. No, you are not doing. You are not doing it. Coming back. So you have two types of succession. What is called? One is the hydrarch and another one is the xerarch. So this hydrarch is the succession which starts in water or very wet area. Xerarch is a succession which starts in dry areas. Hierarchical succession takes place in wetter areas, and the succession series progresses from hydric to the mesic condition. Charan simply read this sentence. Progress from hydric to mesic. I did not say at all. I did not come to that point at all. Okay? Please make it a point to listen my lecture with the full concentration. Otherwise, you are bound to get the scoldings from me. So, whether it is hydric or xeric, what you see here is that in this succession series progresses from hydric means water area to the mesic moderate condition. Then it goes to dry condition. Okay? Right? So look here. This is what you have the hydric succession. Succession started in a little bit wet area. This water. At the beginning, you see some water and a few plants just at the bottom. Gradually, you see that these plants, submerged stage plants, got replaced by half submerged and half floating. Of course, there will be some floating plants also here. Then it is the next stage, what is called a reed swamp stage, where you come across all these plants growing at the sides of this pond. Gradually, it is a little bit more here, reed swamp stage. Still, water level decreases. It is a marsh meadow stage. That means when it comes here, no more water. All this got to feed with the soil. So water level got decreased, and the soil became, it fed the water in a wet area got fed to this extent by the soil. So no more submerged plants can appear there. So now they are getting replaced by these marshmallow stage, substage, and finally there will not be any water at all, and it will be result in climax forest stage. So this is what is said about the hydric, right? As against this, xeric succession takes place in dry areas, and the series progress from xeric and dry areas, and the series progress from xeric to mesic condition. So whether it is a hydric or xeric, from water area to moderate area to xeric condition. So this is a wet area, this is a dry area, and you come across moderate area here, moderate condition area. So as it is, xeric succession takes place in dry areas, and the series progress from xeric to mesic condition. Hence, both hydric and xeric conditions, successions, lead to medium water condition called mesic. So mesic means medium water condition. Neither too dry, xeric, nor too wet, hydric. It is a mesic condition. I hope you understand my point. Right? So, look here. This is what the primary succession, whatever I was referring to, rock area. See, these are all rock areas, so dry. Nothing was there. All rock area. And you see that in such a rock area, you come across little bit of the vegetation to appear. Because the lichens and mosses which start appearing, they make that because of the acid secretion, they make this rock to get corroded, and it results in the formation of soil particles. Primary succession, the development of a plant and animal communities over time in an area where no soil existed. That is primary succession. So gradually see these are all whatever that you have, these annual weeds, biennial weeds, like that. So you do come across a little bit of small shrubs, and their number and size increase. And finally it results in a forest area. Right? Clear? The species that invade a bare area are called pioneer species. What is a pioneer species? Pioneer species is the first species to appear. First species to appear in any area. Pioneer plant species, pioneer animal species, like that. In a primary succession on the rocks, these are usually lichens. Remember, lichens and these mosses are the pioneer species which are able to secrete acid, lichens, able to secrete acid to dissolve rock, helping in weathering and soil formation. Weathering is not weather, climate. Weathering means the soil becoming small pieces. grains, soil particles. That is called weathering. Soil getting broken down and forming small, small, tiny particles. That is what is called. That's what called weathering, and soil formation. So the first one to appear is always called pioneer species, right? These first it is the lichens. These later pave the way to some very small plants like bryophytes, mosses, which are able to take hold in a small amount of soil, right? So always you should remember, bare rock area gets a pioneer species. Most of the time, pioneer species are lichens. Immediately they are followed by bryophytes, which require little bit of soil for their existence, and they are with the time preceded by bigger plants. And after several more stages, ultimately stable climax forest community is formed. Climax means the final community, almost stable community it is. Okay, is formed. So you must remember, pioneer species is the first species to appear. Climax condition is the last condition to appear. The climax community is the last community, stable community to appear in any particular succession, remains stable as long as the environment remains unchanged. Remains unchanged. So if you don't touch it at all, our Western Ghats forest remains as Western Ghats forest only. As long as there is sufficient rainfall every year, the environment condition remains same. The for climate community remains a change, remains stable without any change. Right? Clear? So look here, this is what I have. So whether it is hierarchical succession or xerarchical succession, you can see that hierarchical succession, phytoplankton, followed by free-floating angiosperms, followed by grasses, followed by trees. Okay, so pioneer species, phytoplanktons, it is aquatic habitat, cereal communities, and it leads to missing condition, from watery condition to moderate condition, missing condition. Now, if it is xerox condition, lichens first, it is followed by bryophytes, followed by herbaceous plants, followed by shrubs, and trees. Again, it leads to moderate condition. Trees, some water will be there, missing condition. So, whether it is hierarchical succession or xerox succession, you see that from pioneer condition to reaches the missing condition, moderate condition. Neither too dry nor too wet. Right? What you see here, these are all lichens. Lichens. Right? Clear? Clear? With the time, the xerophytic habitat gets converted into mesophytic one. Mesophytic is with a moderate water condition. In primary succession in water, the pioneers are the small phytoplanktons. First, they are replaced with the time by free-floating angiosperms, then by rooted hydrophytes, by sedges. Sedges means a grass-like a plant growing in wet places. You must remember, sedges means grass-like plant growing in wet places, and these are replaced by grasses, and finally trees. This is what you see during the succession in water, or hierarchical succession. Always you'll be asked, what is hierarchical succession? What is xerarchical succession? Right? The climax again would be a forest year. With the time, the water body is converted into land. So this is what you have. Of course, these are some of the plants. I don't want to take this much time on this. So this is what you have. The diagram sketch in your insert book. This is the phytoplankton stage, first stage. This is the submerged plant stage, and this is the submerged free-floating stage, and this is a reed swamp stage, and this is marsh meadow stage, and this is a scrub stage. So then this is the forest stage. So if at all it is not numbered, it may be numbered. If it is not numbered, you just give the number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is 7. Right? Right? The overall changes taking place during development of such communities are building up of substratum. You know that the substratum is where the plants and animals live, shallowing of water. Gradually, you see that shallowing of water. That means decrease in the depth of the water. decrease in depth in the lake and all, shallowing of water. The light penetrating area is going to be more and more. Addition of humus, minerals, soil, buildings, and aeration of soil. All these are the one which you observe during the succession to take place. As the water body fills in with the sediments, more and more sediments, the area of open water decreases and the vegetation types moves inward as the water becomes shallower. So that means if you have a pond like this, so with more and more soil coming and getting entered here, this all gets filled with, and gradually at the side more and more soil gets filled with, and now different types of vegetation start appearing, and now the depth also decreases with more and more accumulation of the soil at the bottom, and gradually this all gets filled with the soil, and finally it gets converted into a land. This is what you see during the hydraulic succession. Many of the above-mentioned communities can be seen growing together in a water body. The center is occupied by floating and submerged plants with the reeds nearer the shores, followed by sedges, rushes growing at the edges. So they are all with a little bit of these are plants which can grow with a little bit of water, standing water there. Still further are shrubs, trees occupying the dry land. Right? In secondary succession, the species that invade depend on conditions of the soil. Secondary succession is the succession. 1 minute. Okay. Now it is Savitri to answer my question. Savitri.
Yes, sir.
Come on. What is a pioneer species?
First species to appear the pioneer is called
The
as the
first
pioneer.
species which is going to appear is the pioneer species. Now, Tanusri, 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 Tanusri. Shall I call your dad? Tanusri. Tanusri. Blessy.
Yes, sir.
What is a Mesic condition?
A condition which is not too dry or too wet.
Okay. In which, 1 minute. Rakesh.
Yes, sir.
Where you come across Mesic condition, is it in hydrarch succession or xeric succession?
It is in the moderate, sir, after the succession happened.
I am asking you whether you come across that in hydrarch or xeric?
Hydrarch.
Or in both?
Hydrarch.
That Vishwas? Vishwas? In both. In both. I have told several times in both. Okay. Now, let us continue. In a secondary succession, the species that invade depend on the conditions of the soil. What is secondary succession? What is secondary succession, Nadira? Nadira, what is secondary succession? Nadira?
Sir, she is not there. She is having network issues.
Who is telling this?
Vismita.
How you know that she has network issue?
Sir, she called me and told me to
What
inform
she
you.
told? If at all you have any network issue or any other thing, why you have my number? I always want you, if at all if something happens and you are leaving the class, you please send me the message. I have to be a little bit serious in this matter, and I have to implement some strict rules here afterwards. When I ask the question, then only I should come that Nadir is not there. Okay, Navya, you tell me. Navya, you tell me. Don't ask me what is the question.
Sir, in the secondary succession, it is usually in the areas that are like recently destroyed.
Yeah, secondary succession starts in a place where there were some other population which got destroyed. In secondary succession, the species that invade depend on the conditions of soil, availability of the water, the environment, as also the seeds or other property also present. So it depends on the condition of the soil. The condition of the soil should be congenial for the growth of the plants, new species, availability of the water, the environment, as well as the seeds or other properties present. Since the soil is already there, the rate of succession is much faster, hence the climax is also reached more quickly. Okay, clear? What is important to understand is that succession, particularly primary succession, is a very slow process, taking maybe thousands of years for the climax to be reached. Another important fact is to understand that all succession, whether taking place in water or land, proceeds to similar climax community means condition. Rakesh?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I have already told this several times. This is again for you. Another important fact is to understand that all succession, whether starts in water or on land, proceeds to a similar climax community, the music community. Okay? Now, we shall look into the next one, what is called nutrient cycling. Any doubt? Anyone has any doubt? Jyoti?
No, sir.
Namrata?
No, sir.
Okay. So, you have studied in the class 10, 11th that organisms need a constant supply of nutrients to grow, reproduce, and regulate various body functions. Okay. Have you studied this mineral nutrition in the last year? Mineral nutrition chapter?
No,
Under
sir.
what?
No, sir.
No. Transport in plants? No?
No, sir.
Yeah. Please listen to me. Once my chapter gets over, second chapter is over, I will be making 75 videos of mine available to you. And these 75 lectures will cover entire first year topic. And it's taught very carefully, slowly. And please know, because I think like this, there are many other chapters not done for you in the last year. And it's only in your colleges it is not done. In other colleges, elsewhere it is done. And we cover every year all the chapters. And if whenever you are appearing for NEET, you should not leave even a single chapter. We are going to cover it. No doubt, we are going to cover it after that. And we are going to start another program by February 20th for other students also. That is board support come crash course, CET crash course, CET NEET crash course. So it will be all together nearly 200 lectures, 200 hour lectures. And we will be doing that. And you are permitted to attend all these. And board support also, we start engaging classes on Saturday, Sundays. And we give full support how to prepare for the board. And also we do the crash course. And this is mainly for other students, but we are permitting you to attend all this. And for that, we charge you to the other students. You will be sending the brochures to your colleges, and you can also inform to your friends. Okay. Now, another thing that I am doing that for you, we are giving, especially myself, I am providing all biology lectures, not only of first year, and I think now also you have some my second year lecture, am I right? Video lectures are there with you, am I right? Namrata?
Yes, sir.
You have my second year video lecture, all lectures.
Not all, sir.
Yes or no? From what lectures you have? Whatever covered so far, right from reproduction organism. Jyoti?
Yes, sir.
On the other day, our Sunny has told that it is posted, it is mailed to you all. Kanisa, you got it? Hello?
No, sir.
You have not checked the mail, I think. Jyoti, have you checked the mail? Namrata, have you checked the mail?
No, sir, I didn't get any.
You just find out, and again in next class Sunny will be there, and he has sent that, and it is a YouTube lecture. It is published in YouTube, my all lectures. So you have 75 lectures separately of the first year, and whatever we are doing now, all these lectures are available. And anyone has seen that?
Sir, I've
Check it out.
seen few YouTube videos, sir, of yours.
Yeah, and that link only he has sent. Which video
That
has
I
seen?
didn't. No,
Which,
like I didn't see what he has sent. I just went on YouTube and I searched. I got few videos.
okay, video only, YouTube only, JnanaMarga link. I am associated with the JnanaMarga for that purpose. Okay, I am associated them, and I wanted that to be available to all the students who are interested in that. So you ask for the link again tomorrow, and I think he has sent it to that. Have you seen anyone else? Have you seen?
Yes, sir.
Who?
Savitri, sir.
You have seen, huh?
Yes, sir. Sir, send me that link.
Pardon?
Sir, send that link, sir.
Okay,
that
okay.
I am in college.
Would you please do one thing? You please put that link to me. Send that link to me so that I'll put it in the group. Okay? It is one link that opens all my YouTube lectures one by one. Okay?
Yes, sir. I have that. Send. I will send.
Okay. Now, let us come back to this. Nutrient cycling. You have studied, of course, these lectures in the last 11, and that is in the 11th standard portion. You have one nutrient cycle, what is called nitrogen cycle. There is a cycle called a nitrogen cycle in mineral nutrition chapter. Okay, you have studied in class 11th that organisms need a constant supply of nutrients to grow, reproduce, and regulate various body functions. The amount of nutrients such as carbon, nitrogen, phosphorus, calcium, etc., present in the soil at any given time is referred to as a standing state. What is standing state? The amount of nutrients such as carbon, nitrogen, phosphorus, calcium present in the soil at any given time is referred as a standing state. You heard another term? You have heard another term like this? Standing state, you have heard another term? Another term? No.
Standing crop.
Who said it?
Vismita.
Tell me, what is the difference between standing crop and standing state?
Sir, standing crop is the amount of living biomass.
Yeah, very good. Very good.
And standing state is the amount of nutrients.
Star of the day. So this is what you have. Standing state and standing crop. The amount of nutrients such as nitrogen, phosphorus, calcium, etc. present in the soil of an ecosystem at a given time is called standing state. It is an abiotic factor component. Amount of living biomass available at a given tropical at a given time is called standing crop. It is a biotic component. It's very, very important, and most of you get confused what is standing state, what is standing crop. Even it is so easy, you do not recall it. Therefore, please remember it. Okay? Now, standing state varies in different kinds of ecosystem and also on a seasonal basis. The amount of nutrients present at a given time in a given area varies in different kinds of ecosystem and also on a seasonal basis. What is important is to appreciate that the nutrients which are never lost from the ecosystem. Remember, nutrients are never lost from the ecosystem. They are simply recycled time and again, indefinitely. No nutrient is lost. It is never lost from the ecosystem. It only moves from one area to another area. They are recycled time and again, indefinitely. The movement of nutrient elements, through the various components of an ecosystem is called nutrient cycling. What is that? What is the nutrient cycling? It is the movement of nutrient element through the various components of an ecosystem is called nutrient cycle. What are the two major components of an ecosystem? What are the two major components of an ecosystem? Major component of an ecosystem.
Biotic and abiotic.
Yeah.
Biotic and abiotic.
Biotic and abiotic. So, what you see now? your nutrient cycles between biotic and abiotic. Biotic and abiotic. So this cycle is also called biotic bio, abiotic geo. So it is a movement of nutrients between bio to geo, geo to bio, bio to geo, geo to bio, bio to geo, geo to bio. What is the movement? Movement of chemicals. Movement of chemicals. Nutrients is nothing but chemicals. So this movement of chemical from bio to geo, geo to bio, bio to geo, geo to bio is called bio-geochemical cycle. It is called bio-geochemical cycle. Bio refers to plants and animals. Geo refers to your soil, water, atmosphere. So we are going to study now another name for nutrient cycle is bio-geochemical cycle. Bio, living organism. Geo refers to rock, air, water. Rock, air, atmosphere, water. So bio, geo. So nutrients start cycling between the living organism and non-living component of the ecosystem, namely rocks, air, and water. Nutrient cycles are of two types. What are they? One is gaseous type of nutrient cycle, and another one is the sedimentary cycle. Nutrient cycle are of two types. One is gaseous, reservoir is the atmosphere. Sedimentary, reservoir is the earth crust. So nutrient cycles are of two types. The reservoir for gaseous type of nutrient cycle, exists in atmosphere. Atmosphere is the reservoir. So examples for the gaseous type of nutrient cycle is the nitrogen cycle, carbon cycle. So another one here, the sedimentary cycle. For the sedimentary cycle, the reservoir is Earth's crust. What are the examples for sedimentary cycle? Sulfur cycle, phosphorus cycle. These are the examples for sedimentary cycle. I repeat again. So now you know what is a biogeochemical cycle. Biogeochemical cycle, which is also called a nutrient cycle, is nothing but nutrients moving from bio to geo. Chemicals moving from bio to geo. Bio means living beings, plants and animals. Geo includes rocks, water, and air. So nutrient cycle or biogeochemical cycle is two types. On what basis? It is of two types based on where these nutrients are stored, from where they come to the bio, from bio where they go back. So nutrient in the nutrient cycle or biogeochemical cycle is of two types. One is that of the gaseous type. For the gaseous type of biogeochemical cycle, the reservoir is the atmosphere. Another one is the sedimentary cycle. At sedimentary biogeochemical cycle, for the sedimentary biogeochemical cycle, the reservoir is earth. Reservoir is earth crust. Reservoir is the soil. Reservoir is the rock. So you have gaseous type of biogeochemical cycle and sedimentary type of biogeochemical cycle. Which is an example for gaseous type of cycle? Gas, atmosphere is the reservoir. Nitrogen, carbon, oxygen. We are not studying oxygen. So which is example for sedimentary cycle? Phosphorus, sulfur. These are the example. We get the sulfur from the soil. We get phosphorus from the soil. We get the nitrogen from the atmosphere. We get the carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. We get oxygen from the atmosphere. So nitrogen cycle, carbon cycle, these are the examples for gaseous type of biogeochemical cycle, where the atmosphere is the reservoir, and phosphorus cycle, sulfur cycle. These are the examples for sedimentary type of biogeochemical cycle, where earth crust is the reservoir. Earth crust is the reservoir. Okay. So environmental factors, example, soil, moisture, pH, temperature, etc., regulate the rate of release of nutrients into the atmosphere. It is these factors, soil, moisture, pH, temperature, etc., regulate the rate of release of nutrients into the atmosphere. The function of the reservoir is to meet with the deficit which occurs due to imbalance in the rate of influx and excess. Function of reservoir is to meet the deficit. Whenever it is less from the atmosphere, it enters into the body of the organisms. Whenever more, it comes back to that. So the function of the reservoir is to meet with the deficit which occurs due to imbalances in the rate of input reflex. We have made a detailed study of nitrogen last time, and we are discussing carbon and phosphorus cycle this time. Okay. Now, I would like to put the next in the next class. I'll be studying ecosystem carbon cycle. But prior to that, I have now question.